All right, it's 5:30. We'll go ahead and get started with our pre-meeting to get ready for our 6 o'clock council meeting. We will have a proclamation tonight for the Austin High School cheerleaders, their second consecutive state championship. Approval of minutes. There were no changes. Any questions on those? All right, set public hearings, resolution 24019, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 1616 Danville Road Southwest, set public hearing for March 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m. No changes. Any questions? Resolution 24020, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 609 3rd Avenue Southwest, set public hearing for March 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m. No changes. Any questions? Ordinance 244576, approve rezoning request 141923 for property located at 1306 Somerville Road, Southeast. No changes. Any questions? All right, resolutions. Resolution 24021, approve MUB expenditure of $10,998,525 for wastewater lift station 7 replacement. Any questions? Resolution 24022, approve Decatur Morgan County Hospital Association for the redesign upgrade of website. Any questions? Resolution 24023, approve Impact 7G to do a historic survey of Austinville.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24024, approve City LDOT maintenance agreement, Cedar Lake Road, rail, highway crossing, improvement maintenance of passive warning devices. Any questions? Resolution 24025, approve agreement with Skipper Consulting for signal modification on Modus Road at intersection of Jack Allen Recreation Center. Okay, any questions? Resolution 24026, approve budget adjustment for Revenue Department for River Tree third-party auditing services. Any questions? All right, ordinance is first reading. Ordinance number 244577, approve updated floodplain development policy. Okay, any questions? You did, Herman, you thought you might want to look at double voting that one. All right, any questions?
Yeah, that language is set up by the Federal Floodplain Bureau. So all we do is just adopt what they send us.
Yeah. Any other questions? Ordinances, ordinance 244574A, approved parade ordinance revision.
Yeah, that's what we outlined last Monday night. The major change, it's really not a major change. We already have in place the public space usage process, and this just references that to make sure that they know about that and can use it. It helps the applicant because it combines having to go to about 5 or 6 departments into going to one, the community development. That's basically what this changes. It requires insurance and all that process. So we also want to make you aware that's for a parade where you block streets, you have up barricades and that kind of thing, and it takes more than. So we had in the present process about 30-day requirement to get that accomplished. So that was also put in there for reference to let them know up to 30 days.
And it would need a double vote because it's a replacement.
Yes, what I would suggest and recommend is that you vote to substitute this new ordinance for the old one, which then means if you adopt that you've introduced this new ordinance, and then you would either vote for immediate consideration or not. Once you've approved it, I would not
So it needs 3
recommend.
votes.
Huh?
It needs 3 votes.
If it passes.
If it passes immediate consideration, then it would need just the 2.
That would be the introduction.
Okay.
And then you would vote then to have immediate consideration.
Okay.
Just to be clear, what's on here is 4574A, which is the revision.
That's right. I put an A there so we could separate the two. I would not recommend adopting the previous one because we left out this portion unintentionally. We think it's helpful to put it in there.
Yeah, okay.
But that, it doesn't affect the other matters that were already in place in the previous ordinance.
Okay. All right, any questions on that? All right, we will get started at 6. All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Dane Shaw will lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Father, we are grateful for this night. We thank you for your peace and your blessing on our city. We ask you to give us wisdom as we lead tonight. May every decision come from your throne, and we give you all the praise and glory in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Dane. Roll call.
Plattner.
Here.
McMasters.
Here.
Jackson.
Here.
Hyde.
Here.
Pepper.
Here. All right, first item on the agenda is a proclamation for the Austin High School cheerleaders, and I will let the mayor take it from here.
All right, so everyone that's here with the Austin High cheerleaders and maybe administration, if you will, just please join me right here. Again, this is the second time that been able to do this in recent years. Can you get in here? You gonna take a picture? All right. So it's a City of Decatur, Alabama proclamation. Whereas the 2023-24 Austin High School cheerleading squad qualified to compete in the Alabama High School Athletic Association State Cheer Competition on December the 12th in Birmingham, Alabama. And whereas the Austin High School cheerleading squad won first place in the varsity game day 7A championship competition, and whereas the AHS cheerleading squad has proven its excellence by bringing home a state title for the second year in a row. I thought my numbers were right there, and has represented the City of Decatur in an outstanding manner, whereas it is fitting and appropriate that we recognize their hard work, dedication, and high level of enthusiasm exhibited by all the members of the AHS cheering squad. Now therefore, I, Tab Boland, Mayor of the City of Decatur, Alabama, do hereby deem it an honor and privilege to extend our congratulations on behalf of myself and the City Council on your exceptional performance. See my hand.
These girls work really, really hard from February to February, and all the awards they have received, they have definitely earned, just because they put in the work. I have some coaches that might argue, but I think that they practice longer than football and basketball. So that's just my opinion, and I might be biased, but I think that they are some of the best athletes in the school.
Let me add this too. Even though they've won their second straight state championship, and this is a daddy talking, but they are leaving this Thursday, is that correct?
Yes.
For nationals, and last year they placed 6th in the nation in nationals, which is a huge honor in itself. But this year, after seeing their performance last night, they're going to bring back 1st in the nation this year. So I want to encourage them to be strong, be diligent, and bring that trophy for #1 in the nation back to Decatur, Alabama. Oh, it's in Orlando.
If you want to leave, you can stay and leave, whatever you want to do. Okay, good to see you. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank y'all.
Thursday until next Tuesday.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
See you, buddy.
Thanks, y'all. There you go, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Good to see you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We'll move into approval of minutes. We'll take those together if everyone's good with that.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Minutes are approved 5-0. Next, we have set public hearings, Resolution 24019, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 1616 Danville Road Southwest. Set public hearing for March 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Are there any questions on that? All right, Resolution 24020, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 609 3rd Avenue Southwest. Set public hearing for March 4th, 2024, 6 p.m. Any questions? All right, ordinance 244576, approve rezoning request 141923 for property located at 1306 Somerville Road Southeast. Set public hearing for March 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Yes, this is 0.34 acres. Rezoning will be from medical to R3. There is R2 across the street.
All right, any questions?
I guess someone's building a house on that.
It's
or-
already housed. Back in the
It
day.
wasn't-
Yeah.
it wasn't-
Yeah,
okay.
so they use it for,
Going
they don't use
back.
it for medical anymore.
Got it, thanks.
All right, any other questions? All right, resolutions, Resolution 24021, approve MUB expenditure of $10,998,525 for wastewater lift station 7 replacement.
Yes, sir. Mr. Ladner, Mr. Mayor, Council. Tom Cleveland, Water Resources Manager, Decatur Utilities. This is an expenditure to replace lift station number 7, located at 1604 5th Street Northwest. This station was originally constructed in 1958, approximately 66 years ago. It was upgraded in 1980, 43 years ago, and is now beyond its useful life. This project also includes the replacement of approximately 3,100 feet of pressurized force main and gravity sewer main. This project is being funded by existing wastewater bond monies, directed at reducing and minimizing sanitary sewer overflows, and was included in our capital expenditure list that the council approved back in November of 2023. Since this expenditure exceeded that previously approved amount, we're back seeking a new approval for the project. The additional costs of this project are related to the current economic conditions, primarily due to ongoing supply chain issues, increased pipe, concrete, and construction costs. We did receive 3 responsive bids on the project and recommend award to D.H. Craig out of Florence, Alabama.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper,
Second.
second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24021 is approved 5-0. Thanks, Tom. Resolution 24022, approved Decatur Morgan County Hospitality Association for the redesign upgrade of website. I think I said hospital first.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Don Duke, Mayor, President, Decatur Morgan County Hospitality Association. This is a request to use room occupancy funds for the redevelopment of the hospitality website.
So
What do people use that? Sorry. Motion by Mr. Pepper,
Second.
second by Mr. Pike. What is that website used for?
We are going to use it to make it more interactive for our members to be able to promote themselves and also interact with us at Tourism too to promote all the events that we have going on.
The cost of that was 20,
It's not to exceed $20,000.
All right, any discussion? And it was approved by the hospitality. All right, any other discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24022 is approved 5-0. Resolution 24023, approve Impact 7G to do a historic survey of Austinville.
Mayor, Council, Alan Stover with Community Development Manager. The city received a grant from the Alabama Historic Commission to perform this historic survey for Austinville. So we're just asking that you approve Impact 7G to do this survey.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24023 is approved 5-0.
Thank you.
Resolution 24024, approve city LDOT maintenance agreement, Cedar Lake Road, rail highway crossing improvement maintenance of passive warning devices.
Yes, Mayor, Council. This is Aldott came in and looked at the Cedar Lake Road crossing, suggested some improvements there, fully funded by Aldott, but they require the maintenance agreement to move forward with it.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper,
Second.
second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Resolution 24024 is approved 5-0. Resolution 24025, approve agreement with Skipper Consulting for signal modification on Modus Road at intersection of Jack Allen and Recreation Center.
Yes, we've been doing the engineering work for Modus Road. We've figured out we need to move the poles for that signal at the Recreation Center. And this is for Skipper to do that design for the new signal.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second. Second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24025 is approved 5-0. Is on Princeton Place, still waiting on Corps of Engineers.
Yeah,
Okay.
that one's gonna, we can talk.
Yeah, that's fine. I think with some recent rain, I've had a few calls, so. Thanks, Carl. All right, resolution 24026, approved budget adjustment for Revenue Department for River Tree third-party auditing services.
The Revenue Department is asking for a budget adjustment to continue their ongoing auditing with River Tree, a third-party auditing firm that we have.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24026 approved 5-0. Ordinance is first reading. Ordinance number 244577, approve updated floodplain development policy.
So this is to approve the floodplain development policy that we have with the state that comes down through the federal government. Basically, they sent us language saying that the state of Alabama needs to update their language in their policy, and so we ask for immediate consideration.
Motion for immediate consideration. Second.
A motion by Mr. Pepper for immediate consideration, second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion on immediate consideration? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Immediate consideration is approved 5-0. We have a motion on the ordinance
Second.
by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pepper. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Ordinance 244577 is approved 5-0. Next is ordinance number 244574A, approved parade ordinance revision.
This is in line with what we talked about last Monday. It incorporates in the public space usage permit, which the police department's a part of. There's about 6 or 7 different departments. And this is if you need a permit for a parade or any other activity that falls under the ordinance. If you do not need a parade permit, you would not go to this process. But we think this is helpful to put it in the ordinance so people will know, and it will save them time because they can go to one location, community development, and the various departments will work together to get the permit. It does clarify that this takes more than just a few days, so we need up to 30 days, just like we have now in place, to do that. And that's basically the change that we've made. And we would recommend that you substitute or replace this ordinance that's on the agenda tonight, replace it and leave the old one out. In other words, just replaces it.
I'll move that we adopt the most recent.
Second.
So I have a motion to replace the ordinance there with the one that was introduced at the last council meeting. Motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Mr. Pepper. Sorry.
I have a quick question. Herman, did we not effectively, because we discussed the changes, the exact changes that we were going to do, did we not effectively introduce it last week? Just out of curiosity.
No, the language was not changed. That was to see if y'all would accept that. I appreciate your thought, but yes. No, it involved, that was in a work session.
I understand that. I thought that the language that we had wanted in this was discussed
It was.
definitive. I mean,
It
it was
was, but
definitive
the-
as to what we were going to do.
It was, but the ordinance that this is replacing was introduced at the last council.
Okay.
So when you modify it to this extent, which is really not a modification, it's more of a clarification, And
No, I guess not necessarily the modification itself, but the introduction is what I'm,
You're right, that's right. You have to reintroduce this new one, which is what you just did, if you vote,
If we pass it.
if you pass it, yes.
okay.
Thank you.
This is a motion and a second. It's on the floor for replacement, so, which would just be a majority vote. Any other discussion on that topic? All right, roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
So that is replaced, and now,
I will
since we
now-
have formally introduced it, we would need a double vote to approve.
I will move for immediate consideration.
All right, Mr. McMasters made a motion for immediate consideration.
Second.
Second. Yes, just a minute. So second by Mr. Pike, and Ms. Daly, if you'd like to go ahead and,
With him, I mean, this is common
just,
sense.
if you can just come to the.
So this is common sense revisions mainly to the parade ordinance, because you said, the 30 days was already in the previous one. So I would definitely urge the council to immediately consider this. This has been, going on for a while, and this has needed to be changed for a while. It just, just because he wanted to change a few of the wording in it, which I understand and I completely agree with. But at the same time, it shouldn't hold this ordinance back, because it's just common sense, revisions, which I advocated for that in the beginning, that this should be, it was very bland and very, hard to understand, and Herman has done a very amazing job making it to where a lot of people can understand it. So I would feel that everyone should immediately consider it.
Yeah, and that, the reason we have the mechanism for immediate consideration is, I think, what you just described, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we do have a motion and a second for immediate consideration. Any other discussion? All right, roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
All right, immediate consideration is passed 5-0.
So moved.
Motion to approve the
Second.
ordinance by Mr. McMaster, second by Mr. Pepper. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
That ordinance, number 24-457-4A is approved 5-0. Next council work session will be held on February 12th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Next regular council meeting will be held on February 19th, 2024 at 10 a.m. All right, we will move into public comment portion of the meeting. Remember, 3 minutes per person.
Mayor, before you leave, I am going to actually address something that you might want to stay for, but I'm going to start before the public comment. It says, in writing, there are 3 types of irony: verbal, situational, and dramatic. Situational irony is when the opposite of what is expected happens. Last week, when Tab Bowling, it's difficult for me to refer to him as mayor now, but decided that he would no longer stay for public comment, The irony of the situation is that his refusal to hear who he has labeled as protesters, he also, in his refusal to hear them, he has also refused to give adequate attention to citizens with legitimate concerns who are not necessarily here with protesters. While he stated that in the newspaper that he heard the voice of Alice Elliott and her concerns, he was not here so that she and any other citizen who wanted to address him could. In 2016, I asked that the council go back to our original time of having meetings at 7 p.m. because it actually gave people the opportunity who work and get off at 5 o'clock, the opportunity to go home, take care of their needs, feed their kids, do whatever they need to do, and get back here. So 7 o'clock was more appropriate, I think. But what we did was we went to that for 2 meetings, and Chuck Ard, who was the District 5 representative at the time, said that no one's coming. So I think that the point was missed, that even though no one was coming, that it was the opportunity for people to come. So that's water under the bridge, but I just want to talk about the opportunity. In 1996, Tommy Sykes, who's sitting here today, and I'm glad, And I started having community meetings when I was first elected to the city council. And I called Tommy and asked him to join me, and he did graciously. But what we did was, the first few meetings, we were meeting and we would sit there and no one would come to the community meetings. No one. So Tommy and I would sit there for an hour because we wanted to give them the opportunity to come to our meetings. And so we waited for the full hour, and if no one showed up, we left. If someone showed up at the end, we heard them out. The point was, even though no one was coming, we wanted to provide them with the opportunity to speak with their representatives. The point is that there always has to be, we always have to make ourselves available to the public. So last week when Tab left the meeting and Ms. Elliott addressed the council, I told her that I would reach out to Daniel Bowell, who is the director of sanitation department, and see if he could assist her with her concerns. And later that night, I got a text from Tab, and it said, "You should not go directly to directors regarding needs. You are nothing more than a citizen when you are not in a quorum. If you have needs in your district, please contact me and I will work with the directors to determine possible solutions." And I guess my concern was that I was labeled as nothing more than a citizen. Because I am nothing more than a citizen. Tab is nothing more than a citizen. We answer to you.
That's right.
And so that was concerning to me. So I think my first response was to text something back that was not so nice. So what I did was I just did 3 crying, laughing emojis. And then when I sent that, he said, "You act as though you are a supervisor. You are not a supervisor. I am." And when he sent that, I responded again with 3 laughing, crying emojis, because to me that's sort of hilarious, because when Tab announced that 2 years out that he was not going to run for re-election, from that point on, in my opinion, it was paid retirement.
That's right. Facts.
And in the past, when the Steve Perkins situation happened, people have talked to me and their question was very simple. How do we get rid of a mayor? And my answer has always been that there is no recourse. We can't get rid of a mayor. We can't. There is no recourse in the state of Alabama for us to do that. He's been elected, he's our mayor, and my position also has been that if we get rid of Tab, then Jacob becomes mayor. And while I think that Jacob has listened to our public, and that's so vital, I do think that Jacob is more educated, he is more qualified to serve as mayor. And because of the things that happen in our city, I was afraid of that because, and I've shared this with many people, I was afraid of that because I don't know that Tab can pull off things and we not catch up with him. But I think that Jacob, being more qualified, being more educated, has the ability to pull those things off, and we might not be able to catch those things. But I do think that he has given each of us the opportunity to be heard, and I think that's important.
That's right.
So let me finish, please. The book says, "And now these 3 remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love." The very first time that Tab met with me, and we met at Turner Searles, he asked me for my endorsement. And I told him that I didn't endorse anybody until I saw the entire field. I needed to know everybody that was in the field before I could say, "You're the best guy," or "You're the best guy." And that's exactly how our conversation went. But he expressed to me his love for the city at that particular time. And that's what remains, is his love. So I would ask, and I join with people, if there's an ounce of integrity, I would ask that your love for the city will allow you to step down and let someone else take that seat.
Amen.
And I do not, want to say that without you being here, because I didn't want you to feel like I was talking behind your back. That's where we're at. Okay.
All right, we will move into the, guys. Okay, all right, we're gonna move into public comment now. We'll do 3 minutes, and I'll try to give you some time to wrap up the last point. Please no profanity. And then let's try to keep this productive. So we'll just go down the list in order. First, I have LaWanda Hampton.
First of all, I would like to say hello to everyone
Oh.
and justice for Steve Perkins. Now, this concerns me and my family. I was a patient at Decatur General Hospital. They say the...
Excuse me, can you turn that microphone down so that you might be heard? Thank you.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's better.
I was a patient at Decatur General Hospital. They say the police were called in for a man drugging his wife in the hospital. Decatur police showed up 3 police officers. They burst in our room and accused my husband of drugging me in the hospital. I have life-threatening illnesses going on with me. And what about if that point I have been unable to speak or unresponsive, and they found out later after repeatedly accusing my husband of drugging me, asking his name, and I'm telling them you all do not have the right people. Then they decide to go out to the nurses station and check and see what room they're supposed to be in. And my husband's name is Steve. And they told me his name starts with an S. I said, well, that could be anyone. I said, but my husband has done nothing but tried to make sure I received the best of care. And at that time, we were newlyweds. And then they go out to the desk and find out they have the wrong room and the wrong patients. They handled the situation with that person, but never came back to our room to offer an apology. I was upset and demanded to be released at that point. Well, when me and my husband get out to the parking lot on the way to our car, one of the officers were already gone. 2 were standing there holding a conversation. 1 looked me from my head to my feet and back up, got in his Tahoe and pulled off. The officer left standing, then offered an apology. And then he made a statement. It was on dispatch. No, it's not dispatch. When you entered that hospital, you broke procedure. You were supposed to go to that nurse's desk and have someone escort you to the room that they called you in to get. And when I called up to the city to have something done about it, you know what's been done? 0. I have yet to have this problem resolved since October of last year. That I want to know what can be done and what will be done in this problem.
Any comments from anybody? All we can do is try to find out more about your situation. And,
Well, I have the paperwork that you need if you need that.
I'll check into it with the police department to try to find out if there's more information.
And how do you all plan on getting back in touch with me? Do I come to the next city council meeting?
You can, or you can, I don't want to, you can write down your phone number somewhere or give it to the clerk, and we can try to get back in touch with you.
I
And
sure
do you
will.
Just don't call the mayor's office.
Do you have copies of the documents that you have? I mean, that
I
you're
don't
speaking
have
of?
copies, but I can get them as
Do
of
you have them
tomorrow.
here with you tonight?
No, sir, they're
Okay,
at
I
home.
was wondering, because I was about to say we could make a copy of it for you.
But I can have them to someone tomorrow.
Can
You'll
you?
bring them to my office, city clerk's office on the 1st floor. When you come in the front doors, it's to the right.
Okay, thank
And
you.
ask for Stephanie Simon.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you all.
If you have any more questions, you can give me a call, and I'll be glad to.
Sure will. Thank you.
All right, next is Gregory Jones.
How y'all doing? I just want to say, I have talked to you, Letter, Pike. I don't think it's right, man, that I talk only to y'all. I just want him to know that I need to get a conversation across about my situation. I'm playing by everybody's rules. I'm playing by all y'all rules. But they infringing on my doctors. They're infringing on my comings and going. I went to the clinic And they sent me to a behavior. They said no argument, no cussing, no fussing, no combative. I'm doing what they say do. And then I'm saying, yes ma'am, yes sir. But then they said, well, you have to go to a behavior. For what? So then they said, well, it's up to the doctor. If you don't go to the behavior, you'll get kicked out the clinic. That's abusing their power. So I did go to the behavior. I went on anyway. So when I get there, the lady called me a monster. I don't know her name. She's a female of color, but either way it goes. After that, I had 2 days to go get my license. And when I get over there, they said I had to go to behavior again. So then they turns around and send me to the behavior. I'm like, and then before they send me to the behavior, they said, you killed somebody in Chicago. Falsely accused me. I ain't killed nobody in the man moon. And not only that, the termite guy came to my house and ripped my computer, desk computer, and got something out of it and never worked. And then after that, the other chief of police came to my house. I'm on my truck smoking a cigarette, way deep in my yard. Called me out there, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just smoking a cigarette. I had just had an epidural to my back. He forced me to the truck. I'm like, hey man, I'll come to you, man, no problem. You know, I said, can you just please put the cups? I'll come to you, you can put the cups on front of me. No, I gotta put them. I said, man, please, I just had an epidural. I'm letting them know my situation. It's a lot of stuff that's going on in the city that needs to stop. I went to Enterprise to go and rent a car. And so the guy named Bert put weed up under my seat. This guy called named Bert, he had the little shirt chop up there on 14, put weed, trying to mess my life up. I don't even do weed. I don't even do no drugs at all. And so after that, not only that, when I went and get the car, I took off. Somebody followed me all the way from Decatur to Florida. And all the way from Florida back here. And it looked like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it looked like that chief that we got now that was in a white Cadillac, 4-door. And it's just been a lot of threats, you know what I'm saying? I lived in my neighborhood for 17 years, I ain't bothered a soul. Haven't said nothing to nobody. I just smoking, walking. And I'm just tired of all this threatening stuff of, it's like a political war against me. I don't mean no harm against nobody. I'm not gonna bother nobody. But I'm gonna be honest with you. If anybody try anything with me, I'm gonna protect myself to the fullest. I'm not gonna start nothing, but I just wanna make sure that when they come to you, I don't wanna leave you out. I just wanna let you get a full where I'm at right here, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's fair that I let them know and then don't let you know. And it seems like it's going behind your back. I'm not gonna do that.
I know that.
You know, I'm gonna tell the truth regardless. And I don't care who it hurts, and I don't care about nobody's opinion of it. If they like me or not, I don't care. It don't make no difference.
Greg, thank you.
But
Just a few minutes ago.
I really need to have a talk.
Good dog.
All right.
Thank you. All right, next we have Makiba Pettis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I come tonight to voice my concerns about things that's going on in the neighborhood that I stay in. Just as Billy said earlier, the mayor's not here, and we should hold him responsible to hear our concerns, regardless if he don't want to hear them or not. That's what he was elected to do.
Cookie, can you hold just 1 second? Dan, can you help her with that microphone and get it down to her so that she can be heard clearly?
Just move it. He can move the whole thing towards the.
There you go. I want you to be heard.
Yes, sir. So, like I was saying, I think the mayor should be here regardless if he don't want to hear what we have to say. That's part of his job. And if we don't do our job, we get terminated. That's just point, period. We know he's not going anywhere to 25, so it's a done deal. So we come in here and we want to talk to him, we have to just really eliminate that scenario. But my concern is, ever since last year of June, I came in to voice my concerns about things that were going on across the street from me, which is a neighbor, and they have things that's in the yard, a boat that doesn't work, a mobile home that they pulled in, all of this guarded household furnishing. Everybody knows everybody know where I stay. I haven't even called my address out. So at the end of the day, when I contact someone in June, I reach back out again in August, I talk to someone, we're gonna get this process going, and here we are in February of 24. I am not pleased with the service that I'm receiving from the city. I'm not a complainer, but when you stay in a neighborhood and you have these things in the yard, and they burn things without a permit, they have dogs tied up in the front of the yard, the police rise through the neighborhood regularly, and nobody stops to do anything. Nobody comes out to see the land, to survey it, to see what's going on. I have a problem with that.
If you'll write down your.
We have it.
Okay, I was about to say, you said you got your address.
Yes.
You said there's dogs tethered out there in the yard right now?
The dog?
I'm not ignoring everything else.
No, but I'm saying, but this is the cue. You throw the dog in there, and you guess what happens? You said that scenario, Pepper, but let me tell you what happened. The fire department came Friday, put out the fire, seen the dog tied up to some planks, took a video, and guarantee you, they reported it to the dog pound and the police, and they was there Saturday morning. How fast they were. Isn't that awesome? Because of a dog. I'm just saying.
Well,
but I'm just saying,
yes, ma'am.
At the end of the day, it's not about that. It's about the property.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
that makes my property value go down when we have stoves and lawnmowers and boats and trailer homes with tarp all in it, and they burn it in the front and the back.
Yes, ma'am.
You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, I'm voicing my concern to the council.
Yes, ma'am.
To the community development department, because I have called and contacted them also. I have talked to Alan. We had this back and forth. Oh, we got a court date. Guess what? I ain't heard nothing about a court date yet. We in February. This took place in June. Haven't heard anything back, because if I don't contact nobody, nobody contacts me. That's not fair.
And so that's been an ongoing issue in a lot of areas in my district as well. We've got some individuals that have got that trash built up in their yard and things like that. I understand you say it's bad. I haven't seen it. I don't know exactly where you live.
But why is it that the city can come out and put a citation in a yard that hasn't been cut? But they can ride around past that sink, the lot, a house, and this house, and they don't pay any attention to this house. That's all I'm just saying. You're going to citate one thing and not citate another? That's not correct.
Well, I think there's a different process.
It is a different process, but does it take this long?
I believe it's
Here's Cookie, let me say this. Cookie, let me say this. You know, of course, we spoke about this last week at the last council meeting, and even though Tab is not here, basically, because he texted me after the meeting, he's watching this. So let's be clear that he's aware of this, community development is aware of this, and I know, you're right. Rodney and everybody else has dealt with this, and we've dealt with this for too many months now.
Nobody see it like me.
Nobody sees it like you.
I pull in and I see
Yeah.
this day in and day out. 5 o'clock this morning, I'm going to work. What do I see this morning? They out there, y'all, with the barrel burning and lights on.
It's just like I said last week, nobody in this city wants to look at that, and it's not fair to her. It's not fair to anybody on that street. It's not fair to anybody on that in that neighborhood that we have to deal with. So, again, I ask that if the mayor has influence with the judge, and can we get this moved forward? It needs to. He said that. He said that.
All right, Sarah French.
Okay, first I want to remind everyone that starting December 28th, Tab directly told me I could not walk on a sidewalk with a sign in the city of Decatur without being arrested. So 40 days is how long the city of Decatur took our civil rights away from us. And I promise you it's already in effect that is coming back to the city of Decatur. You cannot take someone's federal civil rights away. But the reason I came up was a councilman made a post on December 18th concerning why he did not understand why there was still so much negativity and how he couldn't understand how people didn't understand that the council can and can't do things. Just so you know, we do understand what the council can and can't do, the majority of us. And we do realize that a lot of it is completely out of your hands in this past 4 months. However, there is a lot that is in your hands. How you respond, how you vote, and what you support individually. Or such as what you don't support, like Pinion's removal. Justice for Steve does not stop with termination, nor an arrest. It stops when we change what made this happen. From that happening again, there will be negativity for years to come because of this. You don't kill someone and 3 months later question why there's still negativity from the citizens. The city has a negative impact from here forth until there is serious change. And even then, I hope and pray this murder of an innocent man impacts the city forever. This is justice for Steve. And I promise you, we are out here because we have an obligation to be. We aren't here because this is fun or this is what we want to do on a Friday night. This is not where I want to come on Monday afternoons after a long work day. We do this because we see no other way to get justice for Steve.
So I just want to start by saying that today is Trayvon Martin's birthday. And as we watched those young ladies who were sitting here, they were 17, 16, 18 years old, just like Trayvon Martin was. But he was not able to live out his life. And like the lady before me said, it took 40 days that y'all took our civil rights away from us. But to us, it's not just 40 days, because I'm standing in the same spot that my grandfather stood in. Anissa's staying in the same spot that her father stood in as they sought justice for Tommy Lee Hines. And I look at the council and I see, Kyle, your grandfather was the mayor at that time. You know, Carlton, your grandfather owned a business indicator at that time. And we all know what happened and we all saw what was going on. But if you don't understand the hurt and the pain that was felt in 78, you will not understand how it's felt in 23. We're not here, like she said, because we want to. We're here because we have to be here. I have to fight. I have to make sure that the next generation doesn't have to go through this like my grandfather did for me, like my mother did for me. So as I stand here, I challenge this council, not just to sit back and do the bare minimum. Please do something so that we can be an example for this nation. Please do something so that our kids don't have to face this. Please do something so that my grandchild does not have to stand in this spot and potentially look at your grandchild or your grandchild with the same anger in his heart. Do something.
That's right.
Brittany Malone. Rodney Gordon.
So how many days? 40 days?
40 days.
40 is a number for testing, trial.
Sir.
You know, Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 years. Well, and the church of Israel, the journey took 40
years.
Yeah, yeah. See, and we're being tested right now. That's why he left. He can't stand it. That's why he left. And here's the deal with me. Why you keep every time we try to do something to prevent to make this whole process cordial, not violent. We this whole time, y'all, you notice we ain't been violent not one time. And when that woman was knocked out, that was somebody they did. We didn't send him to bring knock the window out. Not one time have we been violent. Not one time. Am I right? Not one time. And we've tried our best to be in line, especially myself, man. And I'm trying to, prevent my city from just going into chaos. But it seems like every time we try to do something right, man, y'all come up against it, man. And when I say y'all, the mayor, y'all let him do it. Y'all the council. He acting up, man. Y'all don't say nothing. Y'all don't do nothing. You don't do anything. And then you got one council member. He just get up and just blatantly come up against it. You gonna tell me a man shoot a man 18 times and he right? Who trained him? Oh, he's right. He's acting accordingly. How? You understand? You couldn't know God. You couldn't know him, man. I'm praying for you too, boy. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for all y'all. I'm telling you, man, because I'm telling you something. Listen to me. Be not deceived, for God is not mocked. Let the other man sow it, so shall he reap. But I'm telling you now, so you can play act like you don't know what's going on. He says it's better for you to have not known than to know. Amen.
This city seems to let the rumor mill fly all the time. What were ALEA's findings? Why is that up in the air? Why are we not allowed to know that? What's the tow truck driver's story? That's what started all this. Why are we not allowed to know that? Why are people defaming Steve, a dead man, not only from the beginning, but now restarting left and right? In every way people can paint in order to make Steve out to be the bad guy in this world and in this situation. Because heaven forbid a police officer did wrong. A dead man who can't even defend himself, and a widowed mother having to hear all of these disgusting lies about her husband. Why is no one fixing a disabled veteran's house? Todd Pinion, who's not here, can do an interview with Decatur Daily. Mayor Tab can do an interview with Decatur Daily. You, Hunter Pepper, can do an interview with Decatur Daily. And all of you either lie or tell the truth. Sometimes, not really. But he does an interview with Decatur Daily, but he can't get up here. He can't go out there and speak with his community. But he wants to talk about his officers being unhappy with protesters. When protesters are protesting a department that caused 50% of the homicides in 2023 in the city of Decatur. When crime was supposed to be at an all-time low, our officers are still killing people, chasing 16-year-olds to their death, shooting into an occupied dwelling of a disabled Iraqi veteran who probably has enough PTSD without all of this happening, and he didn't ask to be involved in this. 16 bullet holes in his house, 7 bullet holes in Steve. 1 car wreck for Jaden. Y'all's statistics, not mine. Your police chief wants to speak on behalf of his officers that he does not serve. Just like you don't serve him or your mayor, you serve us. Did y'all miss that part when you ran for the job? Did you miss that part where you blinded by the money, the bribes, the cushy seat, the nice titles, as long as you comply? We want change. So make it happen or get out of the way. Your chief serves us. So either set him straight, make sure he's communicating with us as a community, not just a personnel board that Chief Allen set up, not him, nor has he been making sure that it's been updated and kept up with since COVID. He even admitted that in his Decatur Daily interview. He hasn't kept up with it, and neither have y'all, have you? The personnel board for your police department? Set him straight or have him resign. Or better yet, the 5 of you, look me in the eye and tell me that you can't fire him yourselves. We want better out of this city, whether y'all like it or not. We will not stop fighting fighting because that is our job as American citizens. Equality, liberty, and justice for all. Better police, more training, better leadership, better pay, obviously, for those that are so back the blue, and less immunity. When you break the law, you deserve punishment, no matter what occupation you hold. No matter if you save lives on a daily basis because you're a heart surgeon, if you recklessly wreck into someone and kill their child and the father in the passenger seat, what do you get? Punishment. If you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Right? No one should lose their lives to peacekeeping officers. They should know how to keep the peace instead of scapegoating on a 24-year-old police fresh officer. Why is Lieutenant Lindley not involved with these firings since he was the lieutenant on staff, head, other than the police chief? Why is Sergeant Summers not being charged with murder like Mac Marquette is? Because he was the sergeant right across the road watching Mac do what he did.
20 plus years.
And why has the tow truck driver, Richie Brady, not had to provide proof of his first encounter with Steve? Because that's where this all happened from. Your community has questions. You, Jacob, push back the appeal hearings because you're on the personnel board, right?
I'm not, never have been.
Council liaison, as far as we're all aware, and as far as the website's
There is no
concerned.
council liaison to the personnel board, and I've never been on the personnel board in 3 years.
That's what's on the website, so y'all should update that.
Update
I'll
that
check
for sure.
But I'm not on the personnel board.
Okay. Well, that should definitely be updated because that's what the rest of your citizens can see. When you click on personnel board, it says Jacob Ladner, city
am
council liaison. So that
So
means
HR.
you're on the personnel board.
I'm not.
Then that
Never
should be
have been.
updated. Okay, so those questions won't be answered again for a long time, right? Because the appeal hearings are not going to happen for a long time, which is wrong. If there's nothing to hide, why do we not have answers? Why can we not make simple changes in this city like an ordinance? Why do we like to lie to newspapers? Or simply get a new police chief, because that is a simple change, whether you believe it or not. It's just a simple change that you will not make because you are controlled, but we are not. Your definition of peaceful is quiet. Sorry, ours is nonviolent. And as far as we're concerned, we've been nonviolent. That's right. No matter how much you feel threatened, you should. We are your boss. When your boss tells you, hey, do better at your job, what do? You do better. You don't take that as a threat. You take that as constructive criticism when you're mature. When you know what you're supposed to be standing for. Changes will never be made if we're quiet. So until changes are made, we will not be quiet. Justice for Steve Perkins.
Marcus Emerson.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
It's been a while since I've been up this way. And as apparently, we still have not learned our lesson, not even yet. And like you said, before even Steve Perkins or Dale DeJared got killed, the Decatur Police Department had a problem. I brought that up in the first history meeting. And what we have done over the years in the city of Decatur, we have patched it up. We have brought police chiefs in here from outside of the cities, from Detroit, from different places to keep the federal government off of you and the lawsuits off of you. And for a while, everything goes good. We go through the motions until what? Another tragedy happens. And then when the other police chief, the first one, retired, we got this other police chief in here. Then the problems came back in again, and then we had to turn around and had to go get somebody else again to fix this problem. So I see there's a problem, like a cancer in this building. When a website does not have proper information, that you're not in a position that you're not in, that's a problem. When our mayor feels like he does not have to answer to the public or be accountable, since he's so supervisor / lame duck, look up lame duck, that's him. Since you're the supervisor, Mr. Bowden, how about you focusing on fixing the problem or clearing the cancer in this building and getting everything on point, because this is embarrassing. This is very embarrassing. I mean, good gracious. I got people calling me as far as California asking me what in the world is going on down here in Decatur, Alabama, and why we can't seem to get it together. And this looks bad on us. And if we're not careful, our neighbors are finna close in, and we might end up like another Sheffield or Birmingham or something like that. Because what are we gonna do if the industry decides to leave here tomorrow? And our mayor, unfortunately, version of healing is to forget everything, or to tell us, or to tell the Perkins family when to stop mourning. He has no right to tell them to stop mourning. They're still going through it. They hadn't even had time to grieve. And that's lack of empathy and inhuman of him. You know, how dare he? So that's what we need. Unfortunately, you may not want to be the mayor, but God is calling on you to be there. And God's pushing your button, believe it or not. There's a reason why people look to you. And unfortunately, it may require you to take that, but of course, as Spider-Man said.
I really want to cut you off.
No, I mean, but with great, hey, you cut me off. But I'm just telling the truth. Hey, Spider-Man said it best. What Uncle Pete tells Spider-Man? With great power comes what?
Great
responsibility. And that's on you. But once again, you took that position. Like Councilman Jackson has taken the position and taken the stand the past 30 years to sit here and tell y'all what's right, what's wrong, don't do this, don't do that, don't get us sued. Like Mr. Marks over here is trying to do everything to keep the city from getting sued. But still, here we are again. I end that. Good night. Justice for Steve.
Claudette.
Honestly, I came up with an entrepreneurial question I needed to ask the council, but just after sitting and listening to the previous speakers, I just want to share something real quick, and it's not necessarily for you all. It's for the people that are sitting out there making comments that I see after they hear the people come up here. And it's particularly also for two comments I heard from two of our leaders, one that said the same thing, and that is, just move on. Time to move on. Well, here's the problem when it comes to our community with that, and not just ours, it happens in everybody's community. It's just a lot more when it comes to the black community. Like Andre Hill walked out of his garage and he got shot because the police thought that he had a gun. Breonna Taylor was sleeping in her own bed at her own home with her own man. She got shot and killed as a result of a no-knock warrant. Well, then there's Alania Jefferson sitting one night with her 8-year-old nephew just playing video games and got shot through the window of the head and killed in front of her nephew. And then there was Botham Jean sitting on his own couch eating his own ice cream when another officer mistakenly thought she was in her apartment, she's in his apartment, and he's dead now. Then there is Stephon Clark, who was in his grandmother's backyard with a cell phone. The police thought he had a gun, so he's now dead. And the chickens came home to roost for us. And these are just a few. Came home to roost for Steve here in Decatur. So the problem is the reason we can't move on. It's not because we want to yell all the time. It's not because we're angry people. We're hurt, we're mad. We are angry in that sense. It's because when it comes to us, it's not a question of if, it's the question of when's the next one. So my question tonight has nothing to do with that, but I want to declare that for all the things that's going on Facebook right now. My question tonight is I've gone through a couple of the last council meetings, just listening to different things that have come up. And this is just an entrepreneurial question. I'm not trying to put anybody's business down. I understand business development. But I'm asking a question for folks like me that are in services. I've noticed on at least 3 of the last council meetings that individuals have come to different offices within the city and offered proposals. And they were passed by the council. Now, my world, I can't do anything without an RFP. So I understand that usually infrastructure and some of the major things that's done. So my question for entrepreneurs like myself who have services business, so then we can go to any of the city departments with a service, IT, website, and we can offer them a proposal, and hopefully they'll accept it and come here. Is that the process?
Yeah, you can go.
Sorry, go ahead.
You can call our purchasing department. They handle putting out RFPs and receiving those with the assistance of each department.
But they didn't give RFP. They were presented with what my world we call it a white paper or something.
Yeah,
They presented
So like if a
proposals.
department is looking for something, you're saying they don't, send out someone just.
Well, the
approach
wording on the thing tonight says, I was presented a proposal by XXX, and we want to see if we can use them for a service. And I'm not mad at XXX, that's business development, that's good. I'm asking, does that go for any business or services that want to work with a city office? It looks like it's services.
We typically would want to do RFPs. We don't always for service contracts, but Herman, if you want to clarify when bids are required and what services are not.
Well, professional services does not require bidding, but it could involve requests for proposals where you get different professional services and
So professional
decide which proposal is best.
Okay, services like I've seen previously in here.
Architecture would be.
Yeah, that's definitely RFP. But I mean, actually, web services, I don't know, reviewing, whatever, some support services, I can go straight to those city departments.
I think,
Like
you
everybody
could
else.
go to them and introduce yourself,
Yeah,
your
and-
service,
okay.
what you do, and if there's
Okay.
a need or something comes up.
Okay, this is one of the,
Yes.
see what the process is. Thank you.
All right, next is Walter Orr.
Anyway, yeah, I know, right? We clearly see, y'all, man, that when we go to vote this time, I'm gonna talk to my people, man. And I ain't racist by no means, but I'm not blind to what's going on. Y'all notice that Tab, and probably some of them up here as well, use the black vote to get in. Black churches, black barbecue, black get-together. I seen videos where he was dancing and twerking and, you know, sipping on his little wine, but he was all partying with the black people, right? The people that sitting right here. The same people, the citizens of Decatur, that he came to and cried to get in office, to get y'all vote. But now he want to walk out. Let's show y'all, man, how the wolves come in sheep clothing. See, I told y'all a long time ago, sometimes you must put on the attire of the wolf. Hang amongst the wolves. Don't become the wolf, but learn the wolf's ways so you can counteract their attacks. See, we knew he was a wolf, but we expected him to do something that a sheep would do. But he did what the wolves do. He's a predator. You feel what I'm saying? You know, he's gonna always be there. Gonna always have that bloodthirsty for the money. See, the money changes them. You know, just like we have the police, Elizon right here. We have Jacob right here who can beat the mayor. But, you know, at least he hears us out. Even though it gets on his nerves, he hears us out. But before he became councilman, wasn't he running around the city of his district to the door of the black man, the white man, the Mexican, the Chinese? You wanted to talk to him then. Y'all want to talk to us when you want to get voted in. But now that we come in here and you say y'all work for the people, for the citizens, you only work for the citizens when you wanted to vote. Because we clearly see you don't work for the citizens. Like she said, they done made proposals here, and you sit there and laugh at them. Craig came and made a proposal for us to march and have the police you support us and follow us down the road. But you threw that under the gun too. You know what I'm saying? Threatening to lock us up if we done it. But you're supposed to work for the people. We've been here peaceful, man. Peaceful. We have peaceful protests this whole time. The only ones been violent is the cops. The only ones been violent is the mayor telling the cops to do this and do this and do that. And the only one been pulling gasoline on the fire, as we know, is Hunter Pepper. Y'all allow a kid to get on a page and make posts and motto and say he waiting on the next council meeting. Is that not childish to y'all? Do y'all not see the childish that's going on in here, man? This is not right. But y'all sit quietly like it's okay. You might not have the power to get rid of the mayor. What do you got the power to do to him? Huh? But if y'all write statements against him, y'all come against him and maybe correct him. If he's a child, right? We supposed to teach a child, right? Yeah. So if he's a child, we should teach him. So then y'all should come together and teach him the right ways to handle that public social media page that he's using. And when the Nashville videos come out, we'll all know. But like I said, y'all should be coaching this man because it seems like if he's y'all's child, because he's younger than every last one of y'all up here, then y'all should be leading him in the right direction instead of letting him make this council building and these people up here look like garbage. Because that's exactly what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. Childish, man. We all out here are grown adults. Can we say that? We all grown. When we all taught by our grandparents and mothers, and I ain't worried about this bill, man, by our grandparents and our mothers, right, to do right and wrong. So if he's a child up under y'all and he's in a position of power, so he called, why can y'all not train him right? Oh, yeah, that's right. He ain't gonna listen to y'all. That's right. He gonna do whatever he want to do. So why do we got people like this in office? Why do we got people like this in the seat, man? I mean, it's sad. It's sad, man. We got children in the seat. They want an adult job. They want a pillar of power, but get in here and act childish and do childish things on a social media site, man. That's a disgrace against this whole council, man. It make all of y'all look bad. You feel what I'm saying to you? Y'all should be angry about that. I know you be wanting to say something, but you should be angry about it. That's what you should focus on. It's the children you got up here being childish, brother. I can get minutes if I want, but I need them. But I'm just saying, man, you got a lot of work to do, man. You do, man, for real.
Thank
You a sheep and wolf clothes, bro.
Jeremy
A
Chason.
wolf in sheep clothes. For real. I let these kids do whatever they want to do up there on this damn board. It's crazy, man. We got more sense out here than they do.
Good evening, y'all.
Good evening.
I have a question. What precautions have y'all taken to protect the peaceful protesters?
I'm sorry, what?
What protections have y'all taken to protect the peaceful protesters? The precautions?
We just changed the ordinance that was, I think, being used.
For what, the permit?
Yes.
That's not gonna protect them.
That was
though.
changed to the.
That's not gonna protect them. How would that protect them if they were getting thrown down to the ground
Well-
and they're being bullied?
What protection would you like?
I would like y'all to do your job. I would like y'all to allow these people to protest peacefully because that is their God-given right and their First Amendment right. That's what I would like. That is their right to peaceful protest. Okay, y'all can't bully people. Okay, and another thing, are y'all aware of the 4th and 14th Amendment? The 4th and 14th Amendment says we have a right to meet force with equal amount of force. Okay, so I'm letting you know now, I will be back. If any of you decide to put your hands on me and I'm doing something within the law, I will protect myself at all costs. Okay, it's not a threat, it's a promise. Don't put your hands on me. I will come here, I will protest peacefully, do not put your hands on me. I'm letting it be known. Also, we have, by y'all stand your ground law, we also have a third party self-defense law, okay? So meaning that if y'all decide to put your hand on any of these protesters and anyone feels that these protesters are in imminent danger, we can't defend these people. So y'all just be aware of the law before y'all decide to step on people's toes. Let's see. Also, I have one more question. Have any one of y'all denounced the actions of these 4 cops and these 2 tow truck guys? And if y'all have not, why? Did y'all denounce the actions of these 4 cops and 2 tow truck guys? And y'all have not, why haven't y'all?
I think by we have, I can't say collectively, I have given my thoughts on that I didn't think.
I was here when you did, and I think you did, but I'm not sure about Mr. Kyle,
I definitely did.
Hunter, and you, sir. So have you?
I think we all have.
Have you?
Well, no, but well.
I've had a different opinion than everybody else up here, but that's my.
Would you like to elaborate? Because I asked why. If you have not denounced the actions, I asked why. Haven't you?
I think I've made my opinion very public. I'm not gonna comment on my opinion again anymore. But I think I've made my opinion.
Are you aware that this was a civil matter and they were not supposed to be there in the first place? Do you know a standard procedure and proper protocol for everyone? And they did not follow standard procedure and proper protocol. So for you to sit here and not denounce these actions,
I would say that you were not a
It's
part of
very
the
weak-minded.
I would say that you were not a part of the investigation.
I don't have to be part of the investigation to know what is right and what is wrong.
Well,
Okay,
I
do
don't
not.
think you have all the facts of the investigation.
I do have the facts, sir. Let me tell you something here. I'm from Louisiana, sir. I've been here 5 times on my own dime, okay? Because what happened to Steve could happen to me. It could happen to him, and him, and him. We're not taking it anymore. We are not. Okay, so we need y'all to do your job. I need y'all to protect these protesters because we will not be silent until we get justice for Steve Perkins. The more y'all try to silence us, the louder we will get. And it's not a threat, it's a promise. Okay? And I have one more thing to say. One more thing to say. This is for the Perkins family. To the Perkins family in the community of Decatur, Alabama, I thank you all. I love you all. We are family now. I promise you all I won't rest until the world knows who Steve Perkins is. Because of you all, I am a better man, a better father, and a better friend. United we stand, divided we fall. Always one love. Sincerely, Jeremy James Cheshire, and unapologetic for now, I'm slightly melanated, Black King raising a young princess and a young prince.
International, baby.
I don't see Alvin. Mosley. Somebody want to, Mike Stovall.
Well, I'm next.
Well, Alvin was next. I think he's outside. We can wait on him.
Well, did you want to allow them to get back from their bathroom break first?
Yeah, they got it. We win. We mean, yes, in free. National, baby.
Sorry.
He be want to talk about everybody.
No, okay, Mike.
He got so much to say about it. He got so much to say about it. See, he didn't call me out when I said
All right, let's let.
All right, so what we're seeing is going back to what I spoke about last week, lack of leadership. I mean, we were saying, I heard some of you all say that they have not did this and they have not did that. But did you hear Billy at the first beginning when the mayor told him, you're not a supervisor, so you can't do this. So the mayor's only allowing them to do so much. He has this thing locked down, and the problem is the mayor. And until we all realize that, yes, the council, we go at the council, we talk at the council, whatever, and yes, they deserve it too. But it's the mayor who makes the decisions, and he's already told us that he's the dog that wags the tail, and in so many words, he's told them the same thing. So what we have to do is keep calling him out for him to resign, because he's not good for this city. He does not know how to unite the people. And let's be honest with you, you have half of the city saying, justice for Jaden, justice for Jaden. The other half saying, I am Steve Perkins, I am Steve Perkins. Then you have this other minority that's saying, back to blue. Blue lives matter. Blue lives matter. So when can it takes a real leader to come together and bring these groups together? But the only way you can bring them together is you got to learn how to govern right down the middle. The mayor's not showing us anything. He is delusional. He's just not there, and I don't think he's mentally capable of running the city because of what all that has happened. If you go to the mayor and ask him something, he's going to lash out at you. He's going to go at you, and it's like, oh, I didn't come at you like that. So what I'm saying is, to the stakeholders, it's time to remove him and ask him to resign and put this into the hands of the council. We will do better into the hands of the council, because one thing about it, somebody's got to meet halfway. We can't just keep on coming up here hollering at you all and hollering at this. This man won't even listen to us. He get up and take his purse and walks up out of here and doesn't even listen to us. Not one bit. And so that's what I'm saying, you all. We have to have a leader. And Jacob, I know you don't want to do it, but it's time to step up and lead this place, because Decatur is going down the drain. And it's just, and this is one example as a leader. This is one example as a leader. Okay, so y'all want to get rid of Chief Pinion? Okay, show me the facts. Why do you want to get rid of Chief Pinion? What has he done? Show me the facts. Don't just say, no, we're not going to get rid of Chief Pinion. No, show me what he's done. And that's what real leaders do. Leaders go in and they determine and they look at the situation and assess the situation and see what's going on. This mayor had just shut everything down. It's time for him to resign. It's time to move forward, and we can't move forward under this leadership. 2 years, we're going to pay him out to sit on his tail and do nothing. And then what he said to Mr. Jackson was that he didn't have a right. He's nothing but a citizen. So that means none of you all don't have a right to do anything but what he says to do. Dictatorship.
Leave them out.
Going to yield my time for Sharonda Ackley.
That's fine.
All right, thank you.
Get him, Queen.
All right,
so I truly just have a couple of questions because we were talking about primarily Hunter and the way that he acts childish. So what most don't seem to understand is that we're not saying justice for Steve doesn't back the blue. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that the blue officers that take black lives, we don't support them and we want them held accountable. How is it that we as citizens come together, donate to put billboards up, but then the Fraternal Order of Police puts "We love the police" within miles, not even miles, feet of the Justice for Steve Perkins? Again, it's as if they're antagonizing us. It's as if they expected us to come out, act crazy, so that then they felt vindicated for what was done. So since that did not work, it's like, well, we're gonna get them one way or the other because they too peaceful for us. So let's do something that's going to anger them. And you're right, it does anger us because we're on Facebook and we see the people who are in support of Mac Marquette. Now, he was indicted. So clearly there was enough evidence to show that he did something wrong. So how are we at fault for saying that we don't back that blue? That's right. And tell about it. Hunter, would you please?
Are you gonna ask me a question?
I did.
Your question was a little prolonged, but I mean, I've made it very clear. I mean, I'm not saying that y'all do not support the police. I don't think if you can show me something where I've stated that the movement does not support the police, please do, because I don't think you can. However, with that being said, I've made it very clear that I do support the police department. I'm an advocate for the police department. I think the rest of the council should be an advocate for the police department. We have different opinions on the situation at hand. I'm not sitting here, ripping you down because you have an opinion that he should be indicted or charged or convicted, and I would request the same respect. However, again, we have different opinion on the situation at hand, so, I mean, I think everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Okay, so you asked us to trust the process. We trusted the process. He was indicted. That means that Scott Anderson saw enough probable cause to charge him with murder. Can you now say justice for Steve Perkins?
I will tell you the process is not over.
Patrick.
Need to be more like the brother. Well, at least he telling the truth. Yeah. I love to snake in the grab and throw some rats to him.
All right, good evening. Out of watching all this for the last 2 weeks, I've been silent, just watching and observing. Even though the mayor has a lot of power per se, but all 5 of y'all have more power than him if y'all all together. Right. And one thing I noticed is what is being misunderstood and taken as threats. And I believe that as being people in power, you have to put your big pants on. Can't be soft all the time. And understand where your people are coming from. And I think that he has neglected that, and I stand behind what I said at the beginning. He needs to resign as mayor. It's not best for his health because as red as he was turning. And I already said something about that. But anyway, beside that point, my main point is this. I think people need to see this council and the mayor begin to come to the table and compromise. Because there are some things that he has asked us to do, and I have yet to see him hold up his end of the bargain. And he's showing forth a dictator style of judgment that this is how it's going to go and this is what it should. But this is my whole point of why I want to speak today, is what I saw all on this paper is ordinances that y'all vote on, that he never votes on. And if he won't move on something, if all 5 of y'all will move on something, we will have something. So, there's a couple things that I was looking at. What about a citizens review board with power to subpoena? Which will hold this, if y'all want to keep Pinion, there has to be some type of punishment that will show that we can begin to trust him again. Right. A citizens review board will be composed of a certain amount of citizens that y'all will elect and we will elect. And on that board, anything like this comes to that board, then it's reviewed by them and it's finalized by them. With that being said, that way we'll know that things are done. And if y'all would put that into consideration, y'all can outvote him any day. And I think that will appease some of the aggression that you are seeing. Now, that's on the police end. On the community end, with me pastoring Union Grove, in my community, I could be studying in my church and there's no food nowhere in sight. Y'all taking away the Carrie Matthews Center, so you're taking away a way of people to even try and go to the gym. So there's no way of ensuring healthiness in that whole environment. And Councilman Jackson, I would like to talk to you about some of those developments when you have time.
I'll give you my number before you leave.
Yes, sir.
Let me say this, Pastor, Jacob and I have had conversations about Carrie Matthews. I actually was reaching out and trying to have conversations with people who could recommend an architect today. So we're in the process of moving in that direction, hopefully. So you're right. There is not a community center in our city, or never has been, that's more needed than Carrie Matthews. So you're right about that. But we're working in that direction, and hopefully we'll get the support to make this come to fruition.
Yes, sir. And one more question. Is there any way that we can move to try and find a supermarket business that will possibly come to that area?
We can always move and try to move in that direction, but that's going to take private dollars. It's not going to take municipal dollars. It'll take private dollars and investment on the private end to do that. So yeah, we can try to reach out and get people to invest in our community, and that's what it's going to take. But that's what we're going.
One more question.
Sure.
You said private dollars. I'm a man of faith. Do you know approximately how many private dollars? How much do you think that possible?
I'm not in the grocery business, so I can't answer that question. But I'll be glad to sit down and we can try to figure out what we can do to attract somebody to our community.
Let's do that. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Patrick.
Before you leave, get my number before you leave.
Yes, sir.
Kobe Pendleton.
Excuse me 1 second. Pastor, my number's on the website, so if you don't hang around, I'm listed on the website. My cell number is. Good deal.
Nah,
Is it your updated number?
I'm sorry?
I said, was it your updated number?
My updated number.
It's the correct number.
Because his name's on the correct number.
Jacob, can I correct that? I don't want to put that out that you were the liaison over the personnel board, because that was on the website, and I think we need to fix that as well. But I do want to let y'all know, Atlanta, it was 2 of our own pastors who voted against to delay what's going on. It wasn't Jacob. It was that was in the hands of Gilmore and Pastor Creighton. They voted to delay it.
Exactly.
Let's let.
But let me ask you one question. Justin, you asked about my number. My number's always been on the website, and
He was making.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not in a joking mood. But I mean, okay, maybe I'm not in a joking mood, but okay, we're good.
But let the people see, man. And for city council, this is what Carrie Matthews looked like. This is the love Carrie Matthews get. You know what I'm saying? From its people, from the people who grew up in this community, who love that gym, who goes to that gym, and will not stand for that gym to be torn down at all. This is the people that love that. This is what you get. And I'm not sure if neither one of y'all showed up 5 days ago to this, but they did. They did. And they deserve it. Regardless of what day it was, I'm pretty sure they didn't show up. They didn't show up. You know what I'm saying? But the people who love it was there. Now, as far as these pastors, I'm not sure exactly who they were, but that was against violation in my book, because you neither sided with the woman that wanted to not delay that hearing. And I feel like that was wrong. She was a woman of Caucasian, I'm gonna say that. And to me, she stood against what they were doing. But I don't like the fact, and I've been up here maybe 1 or 2 times, man. Every time somebody come up here and speak,
you coughing like you got COVID or something, you don't need to be in here if that's what you got. Because it spreads. And you, I don't want that. That's why I got this on my face. But I don't see the fact of the mayor always walking out. He don't want to hear the people. And the people is who he works for. The people is who he voted in. The people is who voted him in that seat, man, along with you guys. And I'm not sure if y'all have given up on the people or not, but it seems that way. It seems that way very much. Now, I'm not sure exactly what all took place because I wasn't at the hearing or nothing, but Pastor then was pushing for an ordinance for the tow truck man to only come out a certain time, and it wasn't passed. It wasn't passed, and I'm not understanding that.
Because we're still working on it. It's supposed to be that words that we're putting in, and hopefully it'll be on the next.
No offense, Pastor. They could pass everything else. They come up here to this podium. But they should have been passed immediately like that, like them things be passed.
Even take our constitutional right for 40 days.
Exactly, because of the simple fact, if them tow truck man wouldn't have came out, none of this would have took place.
The reason I agreed not to do it is because I had some financiers come talk to me and tell me if we get done it the way we want to do it, our folks will not be able to buy cars, and I need my people to buy cars and go to work.
Let's start our own car lot.
All right.
We got to put money in the neighborhood and do it.
Either, in my book, it's still not safe for them to be out like this, because if somebody pull a gun on them, then here is DPD involved when they're not even supposed to be involved in repossession. But at the same time, it should be up to the people to be able to protect their property, their homes, and things that they own. And it's not right. It's not right. Now, all this money being funded to all these places, man, but it's not being put back in the community to the people, to the taxpayers, to the people who pay their taxes and have to live in this community and live in this place that's going through these things. But
thank you, Mr. Pendleton. Justin, check.
I got 2 questions for y'all individually. Do you support veterans?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you all believe that the city should pay for the damages caused to Justin's house by the police department?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, great. Well, you know, my next statement after this was, how can our city be united when all of you are divided? But it seems like you all can come together on one thing, but one thing that hasn't happened yet. Our mayor's not here, so I couldn't ask him if he supports veterans, and I can't ask him if he thinks that the city himself should pay for the damages caused to Justin's home, because again, this is something going on in his city, and you're right, Billy Jackson, it's something that he should be here for. And it's something that all of you believe he's your boss. He's not. This is something that you all should be pressuring him about.
Let's be clear. I don't think he's my boss.
No, great, because he's not.
I don't think that anybody here thinks that the mayor is their boss. But I do believe that the responsibilities are different. And in a certain way, he was correct when he said that I'm powerless without a quorum. He was correct in that. But the problem was that when he said that I'm no more than a citizen, that's what really bothered me. That was the point I was trying to get across. But no, we have different responsibilities, Elena, and different positions as far as what we're able to do and what we can't do. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Because in all honesty, Billy, I'm nothing more than just a citizen.
Well, that was my point.
Right. And I'm nothing more than just a citizen that's sending parade ordinance to your legals, that's sending noise ordinances to your legal, that's getting up here week after week, month after month, preaching to you over and over again to do something. We told you from the beginning all the pressure's on the mayor, all the pressure's on the chief. I told you from the beginning, your pressure is coming. It's here. We know what you can and can't do. Stop acting like we don't. Google exists. This generation is not going to let you just slip through the cracks and lie to us continuously. We will hold you all accountable as well. The DOJ will be down here. We will get something done in this city with or without your help. How can this city be united when all of you are divided? How are we supposed to understand things when we aren't getting any other answers other than they weren't supposed to be there, they broke policy, so they got fired? A man still died. How did that happen? Why did they get to that conclusion that let me set up beside his house and shoot him as soon as he comes out? Why did that happen? Why is that being hidden from the public? Mac shouldn't have fired his service weapon, so he got indicted. A man still died. We don't just move on from that. Why has no empathy been shown by our mayor, by our police chief to our community, by this councilman, by some of you? Not enough empathy. What if it was your father, your son, your brother? Why do we have to get up here over and over again and get on to our leaders to protect our basic human rights, our basic constitutional rights? Why can we not get better? And why can Justin not get his house fixed? Herman and Carlton, I would like an answer on that.
I would be more than happy to read you the timeline of Travelers Insurance communications with Mr. Shepard. They reached out on 10/12, would not share the estimate, spoke again on 10/30. Inspector was out 10/31, and then it has been, Mr. Shepard apparently has legal representation now, and all the discussions are going through the attorneys.
Right, so but the inspector was still not out there until a month after.
10/12.
I mean, was his first initial thing, and he didn't have an estimate. But you said yourself 10/31.
That was the second time
he was actually out there to do an estimate. So it wasn't until a month later they actually came out there to look at Justin's home.
I just found.
I mean, hey, I'm just getting the same answers you're giving me.
I know. I just reached out to find the information. Let's see here. It's 10/12. Not sure if 100%. Called again on 10/30. So 10/12, 10/30, 10/31. The property was inspected on 10/31.
10/31, the property was inspected.
10/12, 10/30, and 10/30.
A month later, for a disabled veteran who got his house shot into 16 times by one of your Decatur police officers. But our chief is still a great man. What kind of officers is he training? I don't give my 3-year-old a weapon and let her run around the house, and that seems like that's what y'all are doing here in Decatur.
Thanks, Ms. Daly. All right, we'll stand adjourned. Thanks.
Just like always, no answer.
Hey.
We got one up there.
Hey, Alex.